Yeah.
Whenever you want to get started, I'll keep it.
Right, I've muted everybody there, and we'll give everybody, we'll give folks another second or two just to log on. Today we're going to be doing some hand reflexology. Okay, 2 types.
Okay, if you've got, oh.
I'll just mute everybody again here. Great. Okay, guys, today we're going to be doing, just let me get my books. We're going to be doing 2 types of hand reflexology. But before we do that, just still giving everybody a minute to get settled there. So you don't need anything. You don't need anything with you today there. We're going to start off just by doing just a couple of minutes of silent meditation. But I'm going to talk to us first for another wee second about why it's important to sit in stillness. There's a couple of people still joining there. I know Paul is letting them in, but I don't want to start really until everybody's in. Okay, guys, so last week it came up. Feelings of fear and guilt around the homeschooling, but also around the pandemic. Feelings of being afraid of dying. Okay, and it's natural that the pandemic would bring these feelings to the surface or more to the fore. And it is not the case that these maybe feelings or emotions or thoughts haven't already existed in our memories. They probably have, but the pandemic and events like the pandemic will bring to the fore emotions and thoughts that we have memorized, and also experiences that we have memorized. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to send the link to Gwen here. She can't get on, so I'm just disappearing off the screen a wee minute here. Sorry, Gwen does have technological problems from time to time. I'm still here. I'm just going to send her the link. Now we'll see if she gets in. We'll just give her a wee minute to join in there. There's that many links flying about that even I get lost. See on the Zoom screen, there's that many links and meetings, and then there's more in your emails and things like that. So the pandemic, so well done to the people, first of all, that have recognized these emotions. Okay, so Gwen, you're in there now, good woman. We're just talking about, before we do our couple of minutes of silent meditation at the start, we're just talking about, it came up last week, about feelings of self-doubt or maybe fear of death, emotions such as that, which have come to the fore during the pandemic. Okay, so these are emotions, thoughts and feelings that have probably lain dormant within us due to past memories that we have memorized, we have internalized, and that we have experienced before, but they have existed within the layers within both the mind and the body. And the pandemic, remember in the first course we talked about the external and internal stressors. Okay, so an internal stressor is fear, but and also guilt is an internal stressor, but you put all the examples of the external stressors on top of us, and a stressor is a pressure. You put all of that on top of us, and what you have got there, if you like, is a perfect storm, okay? Now, how do we get out of or move away from experiencing again and again and again those thoughts or those feelings or those memories? And remember, the thoughts, it's the thoughts that leads to, and the memories that lead to the feelings or the experiences within the body, okay? So the first place to start is through observing them. And in Tibetan, to meditate means to become familiar with, okay? And to become familiar with ourselves. In Sanskrit, it's to cultivate self. So when you met your partner, or if you meet somebody you like, a friend, you want to get to know them better. So there's a connection there, there's a trigger, there's something, you know, that you want to explore. And yet we have done very, very little of that in terms of ourselves, okay, in terms of sitting with ourselves. The first way out of, and it's a staged process, but the first way out of those feelings of, those negative feelings of, I'm going to list them again. The book is full here. Unworthiness, anger, fear, shame, self-doubt, and guilt, okay, are the big ones. Is to observe them. Now, we're going to just sit quietly before we do our breathing exercise, we're going to sit quietly for about 3 minutes, just in a silent meditation. And it doesn't matter if your thoughts race, okay? And you might focus in on and hear the noises around us, or the fire, or the heating, or traffic outside. That's okay. You're still sitting with yourself. And the practice of observance is just to sit in silence and to be aware of and observe the mind without judgment, okay? And the next step then will be to moving on from that, okay? Neurons, so this is brain, nerve cells in the brain, okay? Brain cells and connections, neurons that fire together, wire together, and the first stage of forming new connections, new neural pathways, and on memorizing and dememorizing. If it's guilt you're experiencing around homeschooling, it just happens to be around homeschooling. The guilt is in there. If it's the fear of dying, there's probably fear in there of other stuff as well, okay? So we're just going to practice our observance just for a couple of minutes. So sitting up nice and straight in your chair, okay? If you're leaning back, put a cushion or something in behind the back. You want the spine to be nice and straight. You're just going to drop the head slightly, okay? So the neck is slightly extended. And we're just going to sit in silent meditation for about 3 minutes. When you're ready, just bringing your awareness into the room. Great. So practicing, I'm going to unmute everybody in a minute, practicing stillness and observance is the first stage on the journey of memorizing emotions, memories, thoughts, okay? We'll talk later on in the course about creating new thoughts, creating new neural pathways, creating a new you, okay? Which is possible for everybody, but the first stage is you have to observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors, you know, so you can contemplate. For example, I was in a meeting there from 11 to 12, and I was, you know, on the meeting and I was checking something on my phone, and I was also on my other laptop looking at something, and then replied to a text message. So I was just sitting there observing my own behavior, you know, almost above or outside of myself, going, God, that's completely crazy, and you're not focused today. You're not focused today at all, okay? Now, we're going to move on to a breathing practice next. But if anyone, you can unmute now, guys. If anyone wants to say anything, or in that week, 3 minutes, did you find it short? Did you find it long? It can be difficult at the start to even sit in stillness and silence for 3 minutes. Or you can use the chat function there. Anything anybody wants to say. But just to remember, you know, those feelings during the pandemic of guilt around homeschooling, fear of death, they're very, very normal, but there's probably something very deep inside of us that we've memorized in terms of thoughts and emotions from before around guilt and fear that the pandemic's bringing to the surface, okay? All right. Everybody's good. Okay, we're going to move straight into a breathing exercise, guys, and then we're going to do some yoga poses, okay? Because I'll just mute everybody again. Okay. And then we're just going to do some yoga poses, and how the yoga works is, so the breathing, the longer exhale turns on your calming nervous system. How the yoga poses work is we memorize emotions in the body. That is where we store emotions, okay? Yeah, we store them in the head and in the mind too, but we also store them in the body, okay? And what yoga does is help release those, okay? So it would not be uncommon. What I would find in yoga class, people would message me, I got very emotional, or I felt really, really anxious after that. And that is the body trying to release emotion, okay? And that's why yoga is used now in like PTSD. The US military use it. You send people to war, bring them back, you know, you use yoga for trauma, because it helps release the stored emotions from the body. But we'll just do our breathing exercises. So it's coming into pollen season and sinus season, as I call it. We're just going to do a wee breathing practice to balance the sinuses. So those are the air cavities in the skull, okay? And they're up in here. They're up in here. Sometimes the pressure builds up, people get infected. The pollen comes in through the nose, the ears, the throat, okay? They're also around in here, okay? All right, we're just going to do a wee breathing practice. I think we might have done it before, just to rebalance the air pressure. Anyone who experiences pain around this time of the year in the sinuses, this will help. You need to keep doing this, okay, as often as possible. All right, so I usually cover, it's just the yoga way of how we were trained to do it. You don't have to, I usually cover the third eye. Remember, this is your spiritual eye here with the 2 index fingers, the 2 wee fingers over the left nostril. So we just breathe in through the right, cover, breathe out through the left, in through the left, cover, out through the right. So nobody can see or hear anybody else. You only see or hear me. And I'm a wee bit blocked in the left this morning, which is unusual. It's usually the right. So I sound like the Stena line coming into Belfast. But don't worry, I have no embarrassment around any of that. Okay, guys, just covering the spiritual eye. And let's just take a big deep. You can take the hands onto the tummy too if you want. Let me just set the stopwatch, and we'll do about 4 minutes of our breathing. Okay, big deep breath in through the right nostril. Cover it. Longer exhale through the left. In through the left. Cover. Longer exhale through the right. In through the right. Cover. Out through the left. In through the left. Cover. Out through the right. In through the right. Cover. Out through the left. In through the left. Cover. Out through the right. In through the right. Cover. Out through the left. In through the left. Cover. Out. In. Cover. Out. Good. Let's do the other side. If you're blocked on that side, stay on that side, okay? I'm going to stay on that side, but if you want to do the other side, that's okay. So you take the other hand and you take the 2 index fingers to the third eye. You'd cover your right nostril with the 2 wee fingers, and we'd just do the other side. Or you can just, don't make it complicated, just cover one nostril as you breathe in and then the other as you breathe out. Okay, guys, let's just keep going. Big deep breath in. Cover. Out. In. Cover. Out. In. Cover. Out. In. Cover. Good. In. Cover. In. Cover. In. Cover. Good, everybody. Okay, let's move on to our bees breath. So this is where we breathe in for, and don't worry with the yoga, I'm going to do some, start off, so for people who are in the chairs, that we can just do some poses from there as well, okay? All right, so this is the bees breath, where we breathe in for 4, and then we make the humming sound as we go out. So it's like this, breathing in, tummy out, and then out, okay, for as long as we can. I usually do up to 30 seconds in and out. Don't worry if you can't do that long, okay? On the count of 3, 2, 1, big deep breath in. Made it to 40 that time. I think that's the best I've ever done. Big deep breaths in and out through the nose, guys. In, tummy out. Out, tummy in. We'll go again. So remember, the NHS recommends 4 minutes of controlled breathing per day. Best time I find to do it is if I'm in traffic, if I'm in a queue, if I am holding for a call center, like somebody from India to come through to me. Those are the best times I find. Otherwise, you know, times that you tend to get pissed off. All right, let's go again. We'll give it a few seconds here. Just going in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big deep breaths in and out through the nose, usually longer exhale. We'll go one more and then that'll be our 8 minutes of breathing done. That'll do you for 2 days, okay? Remember the advantage, we're switching on our calming nervous system, but we're also creating the nitrate oxide in the nose, okay? Powerful healing molecule, you can look it up. The Nobel Prize was won for this only in the 1990s, the discovery of this. Going in 3, 2, 1. Big deep breaths in and out through the nose to finish off. Good, everybody. So I know we're really tempted at the end of that to take big gulps in and out through the mouth. Okay, just keep trying to go back to breathing in and out through the nose. The nitrate oxide, it actually comes in, you can buy it, okay, but why buy it when you can do it yourself? And also the breathing has so many more benefits, but you can buy it, like Forever does it, a product called Argy. That's nitrate oxide, okay, that you're drinking. That's taking promoting the oxygen to the cells, okay, but can cause your heart to beat that wee bit faster. Whereas this way, you're actually bringing the heart, you're causing the heart to beat that wee bit slower, okay? All right, so if anybody wants to, we're going to do some poses now. Then we are going to do some hand reflexology, just some types, all right? If anyone has any questions, just put them on the, yeah. Rebecca, the facial massage we done last week is in the workbook, okay? And the workbook will be going out to people after this class. The reason why we held off is there was 75 registered, okay? And not everybody shows up. And then I don't want to send out, because the workbook is a workbook that I have put together with all of the practices and everything that I use. And all the research that I have done over the years. And I don't want to send it out to 75 people, you know, who aren't doing the course, for means nothing to them. But there's a core group now of about 15, and we will send the workbook to you guys, okay, after this class. We wanted to wait for the first couple of sessions to get them over with. Right. Any other questions or queries or anything, guys, just put them up there on the chat function, or if you want to talk, just unmute yourselves and chat, that's fine. I mean, maybe some of you are in the houses all day on your own, and the only interaction you have at the minute with people is through Zoom and crap like that. So, you know, in terms of a functionality and all, not being able to meet people and all the rest of it, so feel free to unmute yourselves and have a chat there. Okay, so we want to do a few yoga poses just to open up the body. Release some emotion, and also just to start to again build more on just turning on that calming nervous system. Okay, so you can do these from a chair. We're going to do the legs and the back, a few poses. Okay, and remember the six things we can do for a holistic interior environment: sleep, movement that has a mind-body connection, proper diet and food, meditation, breathing, and what's the sixth one? What is the sixth one? I tell you, I look when we're down here in our pose. Okay, if you're on the chair, just having the legs kind of hip-width apart, turning the heels out, okay? And if you're on the chair, you're just going to drop down. This gives you a nice wee stretch of the lower back, all of the back, okay? And you're just going to hold that pose. And the longer you hold it, you'll be able to then get the hands lower and eventually towards the floor, steadying yourself there that you don't tip forward. And then anybody that is able to get up, I want you to just stand up. And again, allowing your fingertips to drop there just towards the floor, okay? Just coming into a full forward fold. So the 6 things that create a holistic interior environment: sleep, meditation and stress management, movement that has a mind-body connection, breathing, our emotions. So the more that we choose emotions that connect us to life, self-regulates, okay, and then also food. So I find, again, through observance and awareness, all right, just keep holding your pose. Anyone there that's tight up the backs of the legs, if you did this for a couple of minutes every day, you'd be able then to get the hands flat onto the floor in front like that as well, okay? And it's a really great stretch up the back of the legs, that one. Just keep holding. So, what was I saying there? Oh, I can't mind now. Good. And if any of you guys want to come into your downward dog, just do. Keeping the heels back and out. Just coming into your downward dog there. And if any of you are on the chair, you can do an improvised downward dog, where you just lean forward, taking the hands forward onto another chair or a tray out in front, that you're getting a nice stretch up the back, the shoulders, and the upper arms as well, okay? And just breathing. There's my senses starting to clear now, guys. Just keep breathing in and out through the nose. Good. Well done, everybody. Just keep holding your pose. Keep breathing. So there's from the breathing, I find, so remember the yoga, the poses, each pose stimulates a different part of the nervous system that goes to a different part of the body or to a different organ. And let's just come up out of that, okay? All right, so we're just going to do the back now. I'm going to show for those of us on the chair first, and then I will show also on the floor using the chair, okay? So for the back, sitting forward nicely, and you're just going to take the hands up, push the chest out, and you're getting a wee concave in here in the lower back, okay? So it's cat and cow on the chair, and then you're just going to arch the back, you're pushing the back out in the other direction, bringing the chest in. So it's like this, big deep breath in, looking up, shoulders back, very proud pose, lower back squeezing in, chest open, shoulders back, and then just dropping forward, lowering the head. And I want you guys to do that with your breath, okay? All right, for those of you that are able, I have a wee treat in store here. You're not going to think this is a treat at all. And I want you just to come down to your chair, and you're going to just take the hands up onto the seat of the chair. Let the elbows drop to the side. And this is for the shoulders, the upper arms, and the back, okay? Just allowing the head to drop there, and you feel that pull and that stretch just up the arms. Good. Looking up, big deep breath in, looking up. Feeling that squeeze into the lower back, looking down. So these are, even when we go back to work in offices, guys, these are poses you can do in your office. Big deep breath in, look up. Breathing out, looking down. Don't worry, it gets a wee bit tougher. Relax the whole body. Big deep breath in, looking up. Really lift yourself up there so that you're lifting the tummy off the mat as much as you can. You're feeling the lower back squeezing in. It's a lovely, lovely feeling, that squeezing in, and down we come. Good. Taking the hands just out along the sides of the chair, dropping the forehead towards the floor. Yeah, so I have a wee half-hour class on a Thursday morning at 7 o'clock, so as you can imagine, you're tighter in the morning. I couldn't get the forehead onto the floor for a good 10 or 15 minutes this morning, but it's fallen down nicely there. Okay, big deep breath in, look up. Good, really lift that body, guys. Look up over the top of the chair, the seat of the chair. Down we come. Big deep breath in, up we go. That's it, feeling that back squeezing in. So you're going to feel it up more towards the middle of the back now. Down we come, forehead towards the floor. Big deep breath in, up we go. Last time. Good. And down we come. Lovely. Hands just out in front. And we'll just finish off this. You guys keep doing your poses on the chair there, your cat and cow. Just coming into Sphinx pose. Let's go up into sail. Big deep breath in. Breathing out up into sail pose. Just looking up. Allowing the shoulders to relax and go back. So the back spine's starting to adjust here now. Okay, you want the tummy on the mat. The spine's starting to adjust. Walk your hands back a wee bit, going deeper into your pose. Yes. Good. Remember, yoga's just practice. Going back another wee bit. Going deeper into your pose. So remember, guys, that the first stage in creating a new you and breaking the habit of being yourself is you're going to have to observe the you that exists now, okay? The person that exists now. And the person that exists now, for some of you, contains emotions such as anger, fear, guilt, unworthiness, all of those deep, deep, deep. Come take the hands back another wee bit if you can. All those deep, deep emotions. And obviously, the new you wants to get through that, and just down we come. Well done, everybody. Okay, just back onto the seats. In the next sessions, we'll talk more about how to break the habit of being yourself. But the first stage is as much self-observation as you can, okay? Now, why is the advertising and the marketing and the communication industry so big and so strong? And, you know, Hollywood, just, you know, multi-trillion-dollar industry, okay? Because it is based on not the law of attraction, but the law of distraction, okay? And we, if we are not sitting, you know, observing ourselves, observing our mind, sitting with our emotions, what we are doing is we are being distracted, okay? So rather than when a difficult emotion comes up for us, we can either sit with it and explore where is that really coming from, or you can choose to be distracted and to be continually distracted, but the emotion will still keep coming up for us, okay? And it's usually based on something that happened in our past, from maybe our childhood. Not necessarily, but sometimes it can go back as far as that. And the homework for you is to explore. So if it's guilt around homeschooling, where is that guilt coming from for me when other people don't feel or experience this? Now, a lot of people do, but also a lot of people don't give two hoots about homeschooling. Or, you know, they think to themselves, well, you know, that's up to the teachers and the schools and the systems to get everybody up to speed when they go back. So you need to explore through observation, stillness, and sitting with yourself, those emotions that are coming up for you, okay? All right, guys. And then over the course of the next 4 weeks, okay, there's only 4 left, we'll be looking more about at the stages beyond beyond observance and awareness as to what comes next. I'll give you a wee hint or a wee tip. I find sitting with the emotion and allowing it to pass, and then observing or contemplating, right, where did that come from? Is it deeply buried, or is it just based on a passing thought? I find that works for me, okay? Right, everybody, we're going to sit, before we do our hand reflexology, we're just going to sit now for 4 minutes in a nice silent meditation, okay? So it's 20 to 1. This hour flies, okay? And we're just going to, again, just sit in your, if anyone wants to get onto meditative pose on the mat, I might actually do that, okay? Believe it or not, the purpose of yoga was partly designed, the physical part of it, to allow people to sit for hours in meditation, okay? And, meditation doesn't have to be, you don't have to be wearing orange robes. We're not going to the Himalayas, and we're not going to be like, become monks or nuns, and we're not going to stay in silence for the rest of our lives. Well, I know I couldn't anyway. So, get away from this notion about meditation being like for gurus or being for that. It's not. It's simply self-observance, okay? And we're going to sit now for another few minutes before we do our nice reflexology on the hand. And we're just going to sit for 4 minutes just in self-observance, okay? Well done, everybody. Just bringing your awareness into the room. The other advantage of, if you can, just sitting in meditative pose is that if you sit up on something, a cushion or whatever, it allows the pelvis, hips and groin just to, slightly to become more open. So it allows these muscles to get more flexible and more open, okay? As well as allowing you to keep the spine straight and allowing the head just to drop, okay? So it's just practice, and it's not every day. It's not every day something is going to come up for us. And in fact, it's when we're not in meditation that actually something will come up for us. Of course not, because that is when we are calm, quiet, and still. It's going to come up for us when somebody triggers us, or says something to us, or something happens in the house or whatever. That's when we are going to be triggered, and that's when the thoughts and emotions are going to come up. But what meditation does is allow you to stay calmer through all that. And how? Because your brain waves change, okay? How do people feel after that? That's okay, Diane, don't worry. How do people feel after that wee longer meditation? Just putting on the socks for it's cold enough. Nice and calming, nice and relaxing, or did the mind go calm? Good, Marion? So we'll be exploring this more in lovely and relaxing, yeah. We'll be exploring this more in, now let me come back out of chat, in the next 4 weeks, okay? But the best, I made my headache, which I'm ignoring, hurt. So Adele really enjoyed that. Get some water into you, Rebecca, there, okay? Are you a wee bit dehydrated? Just get loads of water into you there. Maybe you're not, maybe it is just a headache, but get some water into you, okay? So guys, the best times to meditate, although it's not always possible, any time of the day is good, but the best times when you have more access to your subconscious and your unconscious is late at night and early in the morning, okay? So I wouldn't do it early in the morning because I'm not a morning person, but early in the morning, okay, before the serotonin and the adrenaline and the cortisol kick off in the body, which naturally rise during the day as you get moving and get going. Late at night is a lovely, lovely time to meditate, okay? Now, it can be harder because your mind is going over everything that happened that day and what you have to do tomorrow, but it is a lovely, lovely time to try and meditate. Probably first thing in the morning is the best, okay? And when we were training in India, we'd be up from 5:30, 6, and the next thing, it would be your 2 hours of yoga and then your meditation. Okay, guys, so we will do the hand reflexology today to finish off, and we'll just do traditional hand reflexology. We'll do the Japanese one another time during the course. And in the Japanese one, I like it because you're working 2 organs. With every point you're working 2 organs, but we'll just do the traditional Japanese one now. Let me just get my chart. Sorry, we'll do the traditional reflexology one now. There's that much in this book. If anyone wants to ask any questions there, while I find this chart.
This is Teresa.
Yes, Teresa.
When you put a message in the chat thing?
Yep.
And do you put everyone in the box, pick up everyone?
Or you can just do a direct message to me. So
I don't have that. But what do I press when I put the message? I can't see where to send it. I wasn't able to do that last week either.
The enter key, Teresa.
Just press enter, Teresa, on your keyboard.
The enter key.
Yeah, just press the enter key.
Marion. Right. Perfect. Okay.
Good woman, Teresa. I didn't even know the answer to that.
Oh, there you are. Marion,
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, you can choose who you send the message to one person or to everybody.
yes.
And when you've typed it, just enter and it goes.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Marion.
I'm looking for this chart, guys. Let's see, there's a wee message in here from somebody. Okay, right. Rebecca, yes. There's just a wee message in there from somebody. Gail really enjoyed that. Yeah. So yeah, guys, somebody messaged there that they like the idea of, oh, there's Teresa, good woman. Here we go here. They like the idea of creating new neural pathways. I have to say, when I started to get into yoga and all, I think I've told you before about coming out of class and just noticing how calm and quiet the mind was and all the rest of it. And that's when I looked into the details of I'm seeing, can I put this on here, Eamon? My Facebook page is well worth it. My Facebook page is well worth it. And the details of my yoga classes are on there. Okay, there's one on a Thursday morning, a wee half-hour one at 7 o'clock. Okay, and then there's evening ones as well. But yes, that's what I liked. Was the Brenda watched last week and today, but didn't register. Friend sent me the link. That's no bother. Register with Northern Ireland Women's Rural Network to get the workbook, Brenda, okay? And I will also send details of my yoga classes to Anne-Marie, and she'll send them out as well, okay? All right, so we'll just do a wee bit of hand reflexology. But yes, you can create new neural pathways, okay? Where memories come from. Okay, so say I have a nice memory. Say I met somebody, say I was 9 or 10 and met somebody who really liked, before all that sort of like hormones gets involved and all of that, just somebody, that you really liked and admired and looked up to. You create emotion around that memory. So we all love nice memories because we have positive emotions around those, okay? And then we don't like bad memories because we have negative emotions surrounded with those bad memories, okay? But in relation to that, those are just stored memories. Those are neural pathways we have created. So between brain cells, like one or a cluster of brain cells, we have created a neural pathway between those brain cells, and you can allow those to die, and you can create new neural pathway, and that is how you move beyond memory. But the first thing you have to do is observe where those are coming from. So if it's anger, okay, if it's anger, why is my reaction to something anger, whereas somebody else's might be, couldn't give two hoots or laugh it off. So those are neural pathways. They're memorized emotions we have created, all right? Okay, guys, so let's just start just some basic hand reflexology, just giving the top of the thumb there a nice massage just for the head. And sure, if we don't get the whole body done, there's 4 more weeks, just giving that a nice massage just for the head on both hands, okay? And then you can give the nail just a nice massage there too for the face, okay? I just find, see reflexology, as soon as I start on the hand or on the feet or the face, I just start to really, really relax and chill out, okay? So, yeah, this is what I find CBT works on the basis of, right, you have those thoughts, you want to create new thoughts. I always find it very difficult because it's quite difficult to create new thoughts, okay? Just by trying pardon the expression, fucking think new thoughts all the time and think positively all the time, okay? So you want to, I always found it just through meditation and observation easier, because when it came up, I sat with it and I let it go, okay? And then I found it, I moved to the phase that just do both hands there, guys. Just do the head there on both hands. So the inside of the thumb and the nails, very, very relaxing. I just found it easier to, rather than trying to think new thoughts all the time, because it was just like, you know, so hard work, that just to sit with the emotion or the experience, let it go, try and figure out, right, where is that coming from? And now just go down the side of your thumb. This is coming down the spine. So side of the thumb down towards the wrist there, just as the spine, okay? Good hard pressure, firm pressure. Good firm pressure. I'll just mute everybody again so it's not scratchy. Again, just doing both sides of both thumbs just for the spine and all the way down to the wrist there, okay? And this takes time, building a new you, creating the new. Remember, neurons that fire together wire together. So that is why when we have, you guys just keep doing your reflexology there, and even if we only do the head and the spine today, but we will come to the palm, okay? Just doing all the way down to the wrist there. That is why you have nice emotions of like love and gratitude and all, maybe about some things from our childhood or from nice memories, okay? And so those are lovely, nice experiences. And those, you know, neurons have fired together. So they've wired together. So when we remember them, we feel nice in the body. Don't you feel warm? You smile and all the rest of it. But likewise, anything that has happened to us that has been, you know, upsetting or traumatic, and it doesn't have to be abuse or anything like that. That is why when we also remember those, we feel sad, or we feel it in the body, okay? Because we've also memorized those emotions. Likewise, guilt, fear. So like, remember your parents, well, ours did anyway, if we weren't behaving at night, because of course we started to play up when we went to bed. And remember, Daddy, Mummy used to come in and threaten us with the Black Mariah. Well, then I lived in fear of the Black Mariah for like, you know, probably there's still even, you know, some of those neurons firing together about fear of the Black Mariah, like. So those neurons that fire together, wired together too. And what we want to do is we want to unmemorize those experiences and those emotions, okay? Good. And just come, guys, just come to the center of the palm. I'll put this into the workbook too. Don't worry about where anything is, because we don't have time and it's too complicated, because in hand reflexology, everything's very close together. But just give your palm a nice massage there, and anywhere that is, but like I say, I'll put this in the workbook, anywhere you have tenderness or you feel heat right away coming in, just stay there and give it a good massage, okay? And just keep doing that on both hands, and you'll cover most of the body and most of the organs just by doing that, okay? And I'm going to disappear for a minute, but I'm still going to be here because I'm going to look at my emails to see what we're doing next week. And I was really, really, really great over the weekend. I deleted every email I've ever had. I went to delete, you know, went to delete some emails, and I fucking deleted them all, about 12,000. So suppose that wasn't a bad thing, but it was everything that I ever had, including the schedule for next week. So next week we're going to be doing managing, we're going to be managing anxiety. We're going to be looking at managing anxiety, and we're going to be looking at we're going to be looking at the benefits of meditation in more detail. We're going to be doing more meditations, and we're going to be managing anxiety. So think about having a wee meditation space in your house that you can go to if possible, or a place, doesn't have to be in your house. It can be like you go outside on a good day. And sometimes when I go outside on a good day and I go for a walk up over this hill, I just get this really, really, really experience of like being close to God. And I'm not a really, really, really religious person, but it just comes all over me. Okay, so meditation does not have to be, you don't have to don the orange robes and just get into, give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes, let me finish 2 minutes. So you don't have to, somebody says there they got the vaccine and they were feeling lethargic and all, heavy and achy today. Yes, you can still register for the next 4 weeks with Northern Ireland Rural Women's Network, Avril, if you're not on Eventbrite, okay? So just give both palms there a nice massage. So I got the vaccine last Saturday, and last night was the first night, guys, that I had energy and sort of was back to my old self, okay? So if you have, because we've all a heart condition, so the consultant put me down on the list for the Pfizer vaccine. So there were mild side effects, but energy definitely dipped. So somebody said they would bring me food today, and I says, groceries, and I says, oh, well, I'm going to jump at that opportunity. So just giving the palms there a nice massage, and just, you guys keep going. It's 1 o'clock. And just allow the heat there, anywhere you feel tenderness, or like kind of wee bubbles, just give that a good massage. Thanks, Kelly. Just keep going, guys, everybody. And remember, do some meditation practice between this week and next week, okay? And if you don't like calling it meditation, some self-observance, okay? And somebody says, feels as if you're only talking to me. That's lovely. And you explain more to me than the doctor. Well, guys, I had to learn all of this myself to cure myself of anxiety and to come out of it. So, but I'm glad that I've had, been able to do that and have that experience and to pull myself out of it. So well done, everybody. And that's what's coming up next week. Tell your friends. Thanks, Eamon. Thanks, guys. More of a mix next week.
Sorry,
Practice your observation, your observance. Let the emotions come, let them go, okay? They will then pass. Well done, everybody.
Sorry, Anne.
Yes, me dear?
Just want to thank you again for another great session. And just to let everybody know that your workbook will be sent out by Anne-Marie to all the participants. Plus,
exactly. Yes, and I'll add in, Paula, if you can say to Anne-Marie, I have a few more wee things to add into the one I sent her, but I'll ping her on the new version tomorrow.
That's grand. And for Avril, who asked, did she couldn't register, it's off Eventbrite now because you've had a registered start, but contact Anne-Marie and she'll sort you out.
Okay. Just info@niwrn.org, okay, guys?
niwrn.org, Northern Ireland Rural Women's Network. And this video will be up on YouTube channel. That'll be sent out to you as well. Okay, well, thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. Until next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.